Hello, I'm Dr. Carol Clark. I'm the author of the book Addict America, The Lost Connection. And I want to take a couple of minutes to explain what happens when we become addicted, how we become addicted, and what we can do about it, and how really we're all addicts, or we all have the ability to go into addictive states, and why that happens, and what we can do to help be in a recovering, connected state that allows us to be truly intimate and connected to ourselves, to each other, and to our higher power. So the graph I'm showing you here, it shows where addiction begins, and it's in the limbic system. That's the part of the brain where the pleasure centers are. It's the survival brain. It's where memory is, where emotion is. And if you look here, there's a disturbing event that happens in childhood. Now, there's probably a lot of disturbing events. And what we want to look at is how that disturbing event affected us. And what happens is we get messages. When we're little kids, the adults in our lives give us all these messages about ourselves and about our place in the world and how safe and loving the world is, or how dangerous and threatening it is. So there's a disturbing event that leads to a negative belief about ourselves, a negative cognition, such as I'm not important, I'm worthless, I'm unlovable. And when we get that message as children, then we carry that with us, and that becomes the filter through which we perceive the world, through which all other messages come, all activating events happen. So whatever happens, whether somebody doesn't invite me to a party or I get criticized at work, it's coming through that filter of I'm worthless, I'm not important, I'm unlovable. And when we carry that with us, we develop a fear of intimacy. Intimacy being that degree to which we're able to connect with another person. So to be in a healthy, loving relationship, there's no fear of intimacy. There's complete openness and connection. But when we have that filter that says I'm not important or I'm unlovable, then there's a fear of intimacy, and we hold ourselves back and protect ourselves. And then we control how close we get to other people. So controlling the distance. And I describe that more deeply in my handout, Intimacy by the Numbers, which is on my website at drcarolclark.com. So we control how close we get to others, but that leads to pain. There's a pain, existential pain, if we're holding back, if we're staying isolated, if we're just not capable of being truly connected. And that pain, though, can be alleviated with some kind of mood-altering substance or behavior. And when we first do that behavior or substance, then we experience a relief of pain, a pain that maybe we weren't conscious of. It's so part of us that it's unconscious. But we notice, our brain, that limbic system notices, there's a relief of pain. And so when that gets paired with the extra stimulation we're getting from mood-altering substances or behaviors like the internet, like porn, like gambling, shopping, eating, okay, then we experience that relief of pain, and then we want to do more because it doesn't deal with the underlying issue. What it does, it just relieves the pain for the moment, like taking an aspirin, but the headache is still ready to come back, you see. So then we do more because we've been training our brain that, when I do this, then it relieves my pain. And that leads to addiction. Addiction is a barrier to intimacy because of all that controlling connection, controlling how close we get to another person. And that causes more pain, and that causes problems in relationship, and that causes all the problems that bring people to me as a therapist when they're saying we're having problems communicating, we're having problems with intimacy, we're having problems in the bedroom and help us with that. And when I look at these people's histories, when I look at what's going on, it's, well, what's the underlying meaning of all the things going on in your life when you're not connecting? And then it will come back to that negative belief about themselves, which didn't start with each other. It started in childhood. So then we look at, well, let's go into recovery. And recovery is about connecting. It's about, instead of seeking relief of pain, it's about being okay with yourself where you are right now, with who you are with right now. So right now, we're here. If I have two people in front of me who say they love each other, well, great. So here you are, two people who love each other. What's getting in the way? And now we want to remove those barriers to what's getting in the way. And we can do that with a variety of therapies like EMDR, eye movement desensitization reprocessing is one that I use with my clients. And then we have to break the bad habits that came with addiction. And addiction is where people have been going when they're not connecting. So now it comes down to making a decision. And the decision is simply, is this for my addiction or is this for my recovery? In other words, is this for my disconnection or is this for my connection? Will what I'm going to do next, will what I'm going to do in any given moment connect us or disconnect us? Connect me to the universe, to other people, to myself, or will it disconnect me? So addiction and recovery. And I frame recovery as both recovery from addiction, but also recovery of connection. And then there's exercises we can do that. So retraining your limbic system, getting that baseline down of how much stimulation you need to feel normal, which got all out of whack with all your addictive behavior. We need to bring that limbic system back into balance. And you can do that with a variety of exercises. And just learning to connect again. And so understanding the addictive process, doing some of the trauma work to change and heal from the bad messages from childhood, and then breaking the bad habits and really practicing and living in connection and recovery. And all of that I put into my book, Addict America, The Lost Connection.